With pleasure now, it's time to get my next special guest. We have a frontman of a rock band. They're called Bigger. And joining me, we have Kevin from the band. Welcome to the show here in the UK.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to be here.
Nice to have you on board. Doing not too bad. And you're in a band called Bigger. Of course, you're Kevin, the frontman. And who else is in your band?
So there's actually five of us. There's a keyboard player called Ben Muller, a guitar player called Damien Felix, a bass player called Mike Prana, and a drummer called Antoine Passar. And yeah, so basically the band started in 2016 when I met Damien, and I realized he was into glam rock and Serge Gainsbourg and some cool stuff. So we sort of picked up there, just through similar similar stuff that we liked and sort of common ground that we really enjoyed together. And we started writing songs in 2016, just both of us. And then after the release just of our first EP, um, Bones and Dust, we met all the guys and started touring with them. So it's been cool so far.
Lovely. And I notice you are kind of like in different places around like Europe. Can it be a bit tricky for you all to meet in one place, or do you just work it out?
Yeah, well, basically, like we sort of were really lucky because we sort of a few years ago we set up a studio in the east of France in like a really old hangar out in the countryside. And so basically, all the guys like Mike and Ben, but Mike lives in Paris and Ben lives in Marseille, which is funny, you know. But they're all the guys are sort of from the east of France, where I'm based, with Damien and the drummer. So we have our studio here, and basically what we do is we just like we'll practice once a month. We'll usually get together and we'll practice for like a week straight. So it's actually really cool in a way because the guys have to travel to another place. They just there's something about it. They take it a little bit more seriously maybe, and time's limited and stuff. So we've always worked like that, and it's worked out well so far. But it's because we've got the comfort of having our own sort of private practice area studio.
Nice. And you mentioned France. That's quite close to your heart. So you got your new album I've got here in my hand. I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm going to let you pronounce it for us. So what's the album
Okay.
called?
Les Musicis. It's actually really hard to say. Les Musicis, even for me, and I've been in France for more than 10 years. But basically, the translation of that is it's forget me nots, like kind of that flower that grows uh, during the like the nice parts of the year, you know, where it's sunny and stuff, and then it's sort of always there, coexistent, you know. And that's kind of what the name was sort of just we liked that sort of thing of like because of all the COVID period and stuff. We were like, oh, it'd be cool to sort of imagine this album as kind of a flower that's going to come back and bring life back and live music. And so we thought that sounded cool. And when we were recording, because we were really lucky, we were able to go to Dresden to record in Castle Studios during the second lockdown, and we actually managed to go to Manchester to record all the singing for the album to Hope Mill Studios with Jim Spencer. So that was like amazing, and because that's actually the name of one of the songs, the first single of off the album, Nimiotis. So when we said that to Jim, he was like, "Oh, oh, that's a really interesting. What does that mean?" You know, and sort of, I thought that was cool because it was kind of like because we are like, I'm from Dublin, from Ireland, but guys are from France, so we kind of have a double identity, you know.
Mhm.
And instead of like pretending to be like just a full UK Irish band or whatever, we're like, oh, we're actually like half French, sort of, so we're hybrid, you know. So we thought that was cool, and it just sounds nice as well. It's a nice way, even in French, to sort of say that because it sounds like quite an old Greek word or something like that, you know. So it's kind of something, temple like to it, you know. That's what kind of gave us the idea of the actual artwork for the album as well. It came from that sort of thing, like kind of an ancient kind of temple vibe.
And you mentioned the artwork actually. Looking at the sleeve, it's very creative. It very catches the eye. Are you quite creative people?
Yeah, well, we hope to be, you know. And I hope, God, I hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're really with this album. We had a lot of time as well to sort of think things over and sort of, find a new direction, through every song, I suppose. But the album in its entirety, whatever, it's like, we were able to spend a lot of time on the whole creative process,
Mm.
which was like really cool, And usually, for upcoming bands, it's quite hard to have the time, extra time, like especially working with Jim Spencer, because like we were going to work with him for about 6 months, I suppose. Like if like a bit of pre-prod, and then we would have just gone to the studio and worked for them, and then mastered and mixed the album. But because of COVID, we had loads of time, and we were like really lucky because the guy is really busy, But we were kind of like his big project during lockdown, I suppose. So we had loads of time to sort of exchange ideas and be as creative as possible, which is just incredible.
And the track's got 10 songs on, which is a perfect 10. Each track's unique as well, and you use a harpsichord, which I believe is a 17th century organ. Is that right?
Yeah. Usually people have strange hair when they play it, but we're not doing that for the moment. But yeah, I suppose we were trying to go for something. It's nice to sort of get a really random sounding instrument and sort of, I always think that's really interesting for like a pop song or just just to give it some sort of weird wink, like some sort of weird, like, make an old instrument sound modern, or put it into mix things up. So we've tried to do a good bit of that sort of, as regards to the arrangement of the album, like to use sort of strange instruments, and the harpsichord was like sort of one of them that's in a few of the songs. And it's really funny because we started playing the album live now recently, and we actually start the set with Ben playing harpsichord, and it's really weird because people are like, what the hell's going on here, Where did this 7th century geezer come out of?
Well, I like all the tracks on your album. They're very unique, and my favourite, Vampire First, as well. You put it on in the morning, and the harpsichord, you listen to it just strike a chord with your ears. Um, and your standout track as well, Even with Lies, we're going to play that now. And your official website is all the w's.bigger-music.com, where they can find out more about you and your tour dates as well. Just want to say thanks, Kevin, for joining me today, Dannison, on his radio show, and all the best with everything, and keep up the good work.
Thanks so much, Danny. Take care.
Take care.